All right, here's a good question I was asked. Do you need a Cloudlifter if you're using a dynamic microphone, something as such as the Shure SM7B? Let's answer it. What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so I was recently approached with a question that made me think a little bit. Basically, somebody was asking what type of microphones should they be buying for their in-studio talking head sessions like this, podcasts and things like that. I always recommend the Shure SM7B. I love this microphone. I think it looks really good. It's one of the more popular podcast microphones out on the market, and you're seeing this all over YouTube where creators are using this for their talking head videos as well. So obviously that's the one I would go with, but then they started asking what all do I need to make it operate? And I started listing a bunch of things like the microphone itself. Obviously, you're gonna need a Cloudlifter, you're gonna need an audio recorder and things like that. But then I was doing some thinking. If you have an audio recorder that can record in 32-bit float audio, which I did a video on that, and you can check it right up here somewhere in the corner, do you still need a Cloudlifter if you can record in that bit form? That's a great question. So let's talk about it. Let's answer that question today. Now, I've been doing some tests before I started getting onto this video. So my conclusion, not even gonna let you guys wait till the end of the video, I don't think you need a Cloudlifter anymore if you have an audio recorder that can record in 32-bit flow audio, such as the Tascam at Portacapture X8, Portacapture X6, Zoom F3, Zoom F6, so on and so forth. If you have a really high-end audio recorder that can record in these higher bit forms, I don't think you need this anymore. So we're gonna be doing some tests today, and I'm gonna be showing you guys what it sounds like when you're recording with something like a Shure SM7B plugged into a Cloudlifter using a 32-bit float format, or a Shure SM7B without the Cloudlifter plugged into the exact same recorder. So let's get into the video. Right now, I'm recording all of this on my Tascam DR10L. So we're gonna switch over to the Shure M7B plugged into a Cloudlifter now. Okay, now what you are listening to is the Shure SM7B plugged into a Cloudlifter, which is then plugged into my Portacapture X8. This is what I've been using for the better part of all of my YouTube videos. It sounds good, it sounds clean. I already know how this sounds because I've been using it, like I said. And the reason for the Cloudlifter, the reason why I eventually bought the Cloudlifter, because when I first had bought the Shure SM7B microphone, I was using the Zoom H6, which doesn't have 32-bit flow audio, and I needed a Cloudlifter because if I boost the gain within the recorder, I'll also increase the noise floor. And we already know how that sounded when I did the review on the Zoom H6 versus the Portacapture X8 and 32-bit float versus 24-bit float. The noise floor also rises, so you hear a bunch of that static and that noise in your background. So that's where this Cloudlifter came in. I purchased the Cloudlifter, eradicated that automatically. The Cloudlifter gave me a 25 dB gain, an audio boost without raising the noise floor, so it was a cleaner gain, and that combination was flawless for a long time. Then entered the Portacapture X8 with 32-bit flow audio, and now I'm thinking, do I even need the Cloudlifter anymore? So let's switch over to just going from the Shure SM7B straight into the Portacapture X8 without the Cloudlifter and see if we notice a difference. Let's switch over now. Now what you are listening to is the Shure SM7B going straight into the Portacapture X8, no Cloudlifter, and to prove it, my Cloudlifter is right here. It is not plugged in, and do you guys notice a difference? Do you guys hear the difference? I boosted the audio gain in the recorder to make myself more coherent, so you can hear me. Do you notice a noticeable difference? Do you hear the noise floor? Do you hear anything that's not sounding right, or is it pretty much identical? I've already listened to the test. Like I said, I didn't notice a difference, so begs the question, you don't need the Cloudlifter anymore if you're using something that can record in those higher bit forms like a 32-bit flow audio, such as the Tascam Portacapture X8, X6, the Zoom F3, the Zoom F6, and all those other recorders, especially those podcast recorders and those big soundboards and things like that. You don't necessarily need this. The only way I would say you would need a Cloudlifter still if you're using some of those lower end or those older recorders like a la a Zoom H6 or just anything else. Definitely use a Cloudlifter, especially if you're just recording videos like this when you're talking heads and you're in your studio recording stuff to like YouTube and podcasts and things like that, cut out the middleman. You don't need the Cloudlifter. Just go with something like a higher recorder. This Cloudlifter cost me about $250. You can buy the single one for about $150. If you're in the market to buy the Shure SM7B and you're looking at a recorder as well, instead of going with a lower end recorder like I was saying and paying $200, I would say personally just jump up and get like something like a Tascam Portacapture X8 or X6 for just a couple $100 more, and you can eradicate the whole Cloudlifter step. So you wouldn't necessarily need extra XLR cables and things like that. So you don't necessarily have to go through this step because, like I said, again, we're recording without the Cloudlifter. It sounds pretty identical, if not better, in my opinion. And I'm gonna show you guys what I did in the Tascam recorder in order to get the sound boosted. Basically, what we did is we just went into the menu system, we clicked on the channel, and we just switched the gain from a low gain to a high gain, and then you can adjust the volume levels that way. And again, when you're recording in 32-bit float, you can record as loud as you want without necessarily raising the noise floor, because that's the whole benefit of 32-bit float audio. You can record in lower forms and raise the volume in post without raising the noise floor, or you can record at really high levels and still be able to recover all of that and still sound pretty amazing. So that's the verdict today. That's pretty much all I have for today's video. So if you found that helpful, I would appreciate you guys if you like this video. It does help out the algorithm a lot. We're trying to grow this thing, like I've been saying. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit me up in the comments and let me know what you guys think, and let me know if you guys have any questions or anything like that that I can touch on to make some future videos. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.